Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a Certified Zentangle Teacher. And today we're going to take a look at the new tangle, Schlumbergia, by Debbi Minero. I had to look up, I found some videos just to confirm another place that I just wanted to check the pronunciation. And that's it. And what a neat tangle this is. All right, it is, the inspiration is the Christmas cactus. They also have like a spring and a Thanksgiving cactus, same thing. So I was learning a little bit. Do a search and you too can go down that rabbit hole if you wish. All right. So I'm going to start off with doing this just as a fragment. Doing it. Okay. I'm sorry, that was a joke. Apparently I have barely any nib left on that one. It should go into the recycle bin. Okay. Let's see. Okay. We'll use this. We'll see. All right. A little better. Not perfect, but it's okay. All right. So I'm making a little border in here. And I just want to get that. Let's get that. There we go. Just a little bit better. Okie doke. So as a fragment, it's essential. A fragment is one small piece of a tangle. There is in the Zentangle primer book, if you've heard the term, I use it periodically when it applies. But in the Zentangle primer book by Rick Roberts and Maria Thomas, founders of Zentangle, they go into the concept of fragments and reticula. And reticula is the grid. And they came up with that name for odd-shaped grids. And so that's just kind of like an overreaching or overarching, whichever way it is, term for grid. And then the fragment is what we put in it. And they came up with a whole bunch of different fragments that you could use. But a lot of tanglers will, take their grid-based pattern, and because that's exactly what it is. One box is a fragment, and then you can have lots of fun with it. All right, so this one starts off with a couple of C-shaped curve lines, and it goes, some of this will depend on how you want the end result to look and how you want to place it as a fragment. I'm just going to, we're just going to do it. I wonder if it helps if I do this on the diamond, because if you do, okay, here's the base, I'm going to call it. So on the lower right side, C-shaped curve line, I'm going to put one over here. It'll essentially be the lower left side, but I like to, when I can, use that natural curve of the hand. When you plant your hand down, just make it comfortable and use that. It helps with consistency. Helps. I didn't say it makes it consistent. It helps. Because sometimes, some days there's just no help for me. Okay, so you see that these are both, on either side on the bottom parts of the grid. All right, next, we're going to do, this is like mostly, no, it's all C-shaped curve lines in different configurations. So we're going to do a large one, and we're going to come, hover it above what we just did, a little distance away. And I shoot for kind of like the middle, and it doesn't matter. It's all good. And then here I'm going to turn and do the same thing again. Like that. This one is also rather forgiving, so don't worry about it until it's all done. Okay, from here, more C-shaped curve lines. So from those ends we just created, we're going to do a C-shape going towards the base point here. That's what I'm just going to call it. So going in, and then one over here, same idea. Like that. And what's neat is, and this is why it doesn't matter kind of how this lands, because just make your curve line so that it meets in there. It just needs to overshoot. This part needs to overshoot this a little bit so that way you can curve it back. That's the only thing. Okay, next we're going to go opposite of here and put a nice seed shape, curve line one way, curve line going the other way. Sometimes they don't meet up, but you can fix that like that. Okay, then now on these what a step is this? On Deb's, it's step 3. And up to you where you pull this from. I'm thinking, let's see, what is that? About a third-ish of the way, third-ish, quarter-ish. I'm going to start here and do another curve line. Am I got that right? Yes. I had to go back and look. And I probably took it up a little bit too high, but as I've already said like 12 times, it doesn't really matter. And then same thing on the other side. And whatever you end up doing, or whatever I end up doing, I just try to match it as best I can, and then it's all good. All right, from here, we're going to put, again, another C-shaped curve line coming to the tip, and then same thing from here, like that. And that's it. It's really, really cool. Now, let me show you first, because I want to try it a little bit different on a grid. And so, like I said, this, you just point it, you have your grid, you point it whatever way you want. The meta patterns will come from that. This was from our Tangle Time session today. This morning. And I did this, so if you look, right, so here it's this way, all of, this, what I was calling the base point, I have in the center, right, and so then you just turn it and, do it again. Doing it this way is neat, because once you get one done, then putting those that first step, that C-shaped curve line, you can just match it up with those. And it helps. If you notice, my grid is more of a rectangle and it's definitely not even. I eyeballed all of this. I'm so proud of it, because I'm like, oh, look it's not finished, but it's like, oh, look at how neat this has turned out. And just by the way, there are two other tangles in here from Deb. We did a triple world premiere event today at Tangle Time, and so we'll be sharing those in the next couple days as well, because they all go together and it's just so lovely. And maybe I'm thinking I'll work on this in stages, so that way then you'll see what I do tomorrow and what I've accomplished. Hopefully it will be something. All right, but I wanted to just play with this notion, and I'm thinking of having the seed shapes in the center, and we'll just see what it looks like. So if I'm doing it that way, then I just have to, think, all right, well, if I want it that way, well, then I'll look here. I'm going to start with this one on the bottom, and I'm going to move to where you can see. All right. There's that first step. And sometimes, especially working on a smaller grid, I don't always do the turn the tile so that way my hand is comfortable and all that. Sometimes these bigger ones I do. It's just one of those, good to know to do that, because if you're not happy with something, then maybe, just maybe, that could help. All right, so then this goes. Also, you could do this on a, just a larger scale than a 4 square. If you look at the For More Inspiration link, you will find in the description section, you will find Deb's, I'm going to put this one a little bit lower. Yeah. You'll find Deb's step out and samples. They're kind of contained. Oh no, I think I added, because she took a different photo at an angle, and it looks really cool. So I will include that. All right. Then there's that one. This tangle, I'm so far liking to do each box complete and then move on to the next one. If you've watched other grid-based tangles of mine videos, sometimes I like to do, like I would do all of this all the way around and then do the next step all the way around. But there are some tangles kind of like this where I just feel a lot more comfortable. Let's just do it all. It's all good. Okay. And actually this one, I could go ahead and do that while it's there. Could have done that with this one too, but psh. All right. But yeah, do take a look at that for more inspiration, like just because it gives you so many, ideas. And then also, because of my scheduling, I had a conflict for what would normally be our PM session today. We only had an AM session. So what I did was I sent the replay. It's right here on YouTube. If you go to, if you click on my, maybe I'll try to put a link in if I remember. And then to the next box. If you click on my name or my picture, it should take you to the homepage of the YouTube channel. And while I'm doing this, let me just mention, if you're enjoying this, please click the like button at some point. And then also, if you have not subscribed yet to the channel, if you like it enough to see more, I should say, feel free to subscribe as well. So what I decided to do, and here's just the reason that I decided to add that bit in now, is to, I got the video, I add some things to it and then upload it. And I decided to upload it and do what they call a premiere. And so that way it released at the same time I would have normally done Tangle Time. I wish I had thought about it earlier. But sometimes we don't. It's just like Zentangle. It's like, hey, I could do this. I almost made myself late for where I had to be. Because I wanted to get that. And apparently it turned out all right. And so the video of our Tangle Time is what is already posted. So do check that out. Like I said, I'll try to put that in the description section also so you don't have to find it. And you can see all of the amazing work that was done with this tangle. Oh my gosh, we had so much fun. All right. So this is turning out rather interesting. And I like it. I love Deb's work. Deb's tangles are, for the most part, super easy to do. She always gives us lots of options and things, and it's like food for thought type of thing, food for creativity. So we can play with, different ideas on just that, how to play with it. And it's just so cool. All right. Look at how neat that is. Oh. All right. Let me put this one in too. If it'll fit. See, I'll put it on the side here. There we go. Here we go. So neat. Really, really neat. And like I said, so if we had it, in a bigger grid, you would find both of these figures in there if you do it in a larger grid. But if you just want to do something like this, then that is completely up to you. Now, let's play with some shading. Oh, and let's just play with it on here. Like I said, I'm not sure what I'm going in directions I'm going with that one yet. And before I do some shading, when you look at the For More Inspiration, one of the things that Deb does in this one is puts a little line with an orb, or actually we call that a dot. An orb is a little bit bigger. Okay, it could be a small orb. It's whatever you want to call it. It's really just as cool as the line dot dot, and it just adds so much. And then also another way to play, and if you've had a Christmas cactus or you've seen one, you could play with this up here and put a little Y in there. So just taking one side with a curve line and then a curve line on the other, meeting, well, sort of. And it's one of those, doesn't matter how it turns out. It just ends up looking really cool. like that. You know, it's like I was trying to get them down towards the base. If you don't, it doesn't matter. It's all good. I have 2 one way and 2 another way. That's funny. Yeah. And then I'm just going to leave, you know, the other ones just kind of as they are. You know, you can have the regular amount of fun that you have with things like this, you know, like putting orbs in it or, you know, some other pattern or just shading. It is completely up to you. Or you can just, you know, you could add some color if you wish. I'm just putting some graphite in the base and then bringing it up a little bit. Not necessarily to the tip yet. Might. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, and I might as well get this here while I'm at it. Okay. Because kind of following my rules, my rules for shading. Okay, you know, well, let's see where, you know, when I don't know, it's like I don't know what I want to do. So all right, well, let's look. What if there's something tucked into something else? Let's do that first. Okay, check. And since I've kind of gone up, I'm gonna sort of. Well, let's see. And if I haven't shared this trick, this is a mom figured this out because I don't like using. Some people would just, well, I'll just erase a little bit of that. No. You can take either a clean tortillon or like I'm using the back end of it, and it just picking up some of that graphite there because I didn't want it necessarily that dark. Look at how that does that, because this is a fairly new tortillon, and then I can always go back and add some, but it just almost lightens it up to non-existence. There we go. And well, let's just, I'm using what's left on the tortillon, and I'm just putting a little bit of graphite along that line there because the other things are kind of tucked. Also, good idea to use what's left on your tortillon because it can get rather packed up. And then if you just keep using it, then you get the graphite remorse because there's a whole lot on there and you're like, oh, well, I put some on. Oh, okay, well, now what? All right. I like that. Something on the edge. You know, maybe just going around the edge. Oh, I don't know. You know what? This I feel like I want to do a regular kind of seed thing with shading. And that is to put a little graphite on either side. Oh, actually, I could do, there we go. Then I don't have to turn it so many times. And then I bring it in. Well, I might as well, let's finish that. About a third of the way. So that way you have a little of the natural tile color showing. And see how it looks shiny? That is the aim. Actually, could have even filled them in with the pen, and even did the same and do the same thing. Excuse me, leaving the shine in the center. Because if you want to have some contrast, that's kind of nice. All right, and then this is bothering me, so I need to have some graphite in the bottom because of all of a sudden, look at that, it's all stark there. Because essentially that's coming out of here, so why not? Now, these guys. Oh, let's do this. Pulling it just a little bit away. Just try this one. was a bit much graphite. Ugh. Ugh. And I'm seeing that line there. Oh, well, wait a minute. Okay, let's try it with just what's here on the tortillon. Maybe I didn't get rid of all of it. There we go. So I'm going to do that same technique here. And I want to say soak some of it up. You know, I wonder if I can use... No, I don't want to do that. Just use the end a little bit. Lighten it up. And then I could always come back and just make it a little bit darker. You know what? I recently sharpened my pencil a little bit. And I should know better than to apply what I feel like is a normal amount of graphite. There we go. Because it seems like the act of sharpening it like loosens up the graphite or something, and it goes on a lot. It's like makes it a lot softer. Oh, so that's interesting. Okay, here's the first one I started with. It's still a bit dark, but... And then this one... I just kind of try to make them consistent as best I can. So that's interesting. That is interesting. Like it. All right. Well, I'm going to play with this while I tell you. I think I'm going to do the same thing, but on here. Oh, well, maybe the same thing. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. Maybe I will. So I already mentioned the description section for links to the step outs. So I hope that you will go and check that out. No, I think I'm going to do this little, we'll just make that shiny. Yeah, please go check that out. And also in there, ways to connect with me. Oh, actually, I should just change it because I just created this link tree, and it has everything, every place that you might want to go if you want to connect. Links to the website, Facebook group, as well as page, this channel, Pinterest, Instagram, everything else that I could think of. But anyway, you'll find that link in there. If you want to hang out, well, number one, if you would like to attend the sessions that we do where we play with these tangles, we would love to have you. They are generally on Thursdays, and I do 2 sessions. It's the same content. It's just, everybody, we all get a second chance to try it a little bit differently. Everybody that comes, some come to both, and it's really fun. But if you follow my Facebook page for sure, there are a couple other places where I post. I need to add those to the link tree, like Eventbrite and Meetup.com. So if you happen to be on those platforms, they're both free. And that way you can follow and, receive notice of when sessions are happening. Yeah, I'm going to do the same thing. That's just fun. Really light. And then if you want to continue the conversation and the fun, join us on the Facebook, the private group that we have. There are 4 questions that have to be answered in order to gain entry, just so you're aware. And I think that's it. We have a lot of fun. Well, that way you can see one giant size, and then with all of the seeds in the center, then all of them. It's like the hokey pokey. Never mind. I'm not going to do that. Oh no, that's going to be in my mind every time I do a grid pattern. All right. Anyway, sorry. Great. This was fun. My brain sometimes. All right. And I think I'm going to bring these down while I'm exiting right down to that base because I like that I did that on here. Just seems weird just kind of floating out there. I love that we can go back and just adjust things as we see fit. Okay, lots of fun. All right, so with that, thank you so much for watching and having fun. And I wish you happy tangling.